Radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Radical Rapid Fire Comment Response for January 25th through the 31st, 2021. Getting right into this, let's start out with Dumez. These patents are bullshit. There was a company that patented the idea of playing a minigame during a load screen. So for the last 15 years, we could not have quick fun minigames during load screens. The patent finally expired a few years ago. Of all the petty patents, you know, a loading screen minigame. Is that such a big fucking deal? You know, I mean, on the one hand, we're talking about the Nemesis system, which is an actual built system for a video game. But the other thing is just such a throwaway kind of concept, you know? Like, somebody was going to patent it, and what was the big selling point? Okay, yeah, we're going to have loading screens, but at least you can play games while it's loading. So fucking stupid. And just, like I said, cheap. Mike Coolgreen. I can tell from Mike's facial expressions, Mike Matei, that he doesn't give a fuck or wants anything to do with James' imaginary band. Mike would rather have fun and be happy without James or the fatso slowing him down, especially Fatty Justin. Well, we sometimes talk about James really not giving that much of a fuck, or at least during James and Mike Mondays, not caring or just falling asleep. But maybe ironically, it could be more on Mike's end. Maybe he just really doesn't want anything to do with the direction that James is going, and maybe he doesn't really give that much of a shit about a band, the band or whatever the name of it is. It could just be, you know, two people that are still maybe on decent terms, but just going in different paths in life, you know. Zombie 38. Laugh out loud, I should do the same instead of trying to remember the plot of every stupid game that I own. I tell you, like, it's hard to memorize. Well, I mean, not memorize, that's not the way to look at it. It's hard to recollect the plot of, like, movies or, you know, anime series or video games. And it makes me think about how memory works. You know, there's got to be, like, only, like, a hard drive. There's only so much amount of room in your brain for memory. And, you know, that'd be fascinating for me to actually read up or maybe listen to some people explain to me how memory works. And I would hope I would remember it if they explained that to me. Carlamo, your content is very entertaining, but can you make it last at least 10 minutes? Too short, this one. I could have went in a variety of directions with that. I think I replied to you, like, what did I say? You know, yeah, that's what she said. Can you make it last 10 minutes? Well, you know, this right here is probably going to be 20, 30 minutes, maybe longer, you know. And then comic cuts, those are usually 3, 4, 5 minutes. There was one that was 10 minutes. Like, I don't think about, like, the timing on things. Like, I record things and then I cut it, edit it, and then, you know, could be 5 minutes, could be an hour in some rare cases. You know, I don't think about that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't put a lot of thought into really the time. Yeah, so my advice to you would be to just maybe go to a certain playlist, like the gold comment of the week. Those are usually pretty long. Destroyer of Heroes. How many hours do you think you put into Shadow of Mordor? Well, it's lying to me, I think, because it says 300 hours. But then I think to myself, wait a second, the Game of the Year edition is what I bought maybe a year ago, maybe a little more. So the other version I have, which it pissed me off how, you know, your progress didn't go from one version to the other. I was under the assumption I buy the Game of the Year edition, and silly me, you know, I don't think it would see it as a separate game, but I had to actually start over from the very beginning. But oh man, I played since 2015 is when I got it. $10, the best $10 ever spent. You know, I got it. I had Microsoft credit. Then I thought, you know what? This looks like kind of like an interesting game. You know, I have a lot of different games, but I don't have anything like this. You know, just imagine that $10 if I would have spent it on something else. You know, like a big portion of my life would be drastically changed. You know, what other game what I went with, I'm really glad that I went with Shadow of Mordor. But yeah, there's no way of telling unless I log in maybe to the other game and then I add those together. I don't know. Rewind video. Shadow of Mordor to you is like Hunting Ground to me. Laugh out loud, I know everything about the game, secret rooms, how to trigger hidden cutscenes, etc. I think I bring it up too much in my videos or with friends, laughing my ass off. I'm like that with some levels in the Halo series, where like I know the locations of the grunts, the brutes, 4, I think, because I would try to do a legendary run. So I would have to like memorize. I'm like that with maybe first-person shooters, stuff like that. With open world games, and I know Shadow of Mordor isn't technically like an open world game. It's kind of open world. It's not like a Grand Theft Auto, Well, I guess you would say it's open world. It's a small world. Like, I know the locations of places. Everything gets changed up. The enemy locations where, things are going to be. But I'm a master of the fighting system. So there's still things that surprise me even now that I come across in Shadow of Mordor. And, I like it when something surprises me. But by no means am I a master of anything really specifically except the fighting system. So maybe I need to clarify. I'm not like a master Shadow of Mordor, just specifically my favorite part of it, which is the fighting system. Comedy Room. Mike is a boss. They don't call him motherfucker for nothing. Rick, let's talk about a good YouTuber again, Herv Adia. Yeah, I could spend a long time talking about Herv Adia. It's a great YouTuber. Essentially, and I talked about Herv Adia last year. I will find that and maybe do a comment cuts on that if I can, locate that. His most recent was a spaghetti western. And I think it was a special he did for reaching 100,000 subscribers, I believe. But the concept is he actually shows scenes from the movie, and then he goes to these locations, and he compares what the scenes look like in the movie to the actual movies, right? And there was one great thing he did in one movie to where certain characters were walking down the street, and you see the white picket fence, and then he walks along it, and he does like a split screen. It's really interesting videos. Yeah, I do recommend Herv Adia. Lunatic Dad, give me a hell yeah, my brother. I tweeted you out. Well, hell yeah. I appreciate that. Here's the thing, though. I can't tweet you out because I don't tweet. I don't have a Twitter. I don't fuck with social media, But maybe, who knows? Maybe one of my fake imposter Twitter accounts, maybe they'll tweet you out. Who knows? Rusty Shackelford. This is truly a legendary collection. I mainly bought the collection for Halo 2 and 3. Personally, Halo 3 was my favorite simply for the memories that I had on it back when I had a 360. I'm hoping Infinite isn't a flop, but I haven't been impressed with 343 so far. Well, Halo 4 was my first Halo game in the series, and I got fond memories. I got so many hours logged into Halo 4 between the single player, going through it on Legendary to get the Lone Wolf Legend achievement, the multiplayer, Spartan Ops, Forge. Just, there's so many hours you could spend on that game. It was, for a few years, Halo 4 was just my life. I would go into work with Halo eyes, rings around my eyes just because I was playing too much fucking Halo, right? And when 5 came out, the magic went away a little bit. It did, right? And that's kind of weird. A lot of people would say, like, Halo 4 was the first one you played? Didn't you play the others? Yeah, I played some of the others, definitely. I went through the first one. Haven't made it through 2 and 3. Mostly, Halo 4 multiplayer, that was my jam. I know a lot of people don't like that. But, listen, Halo 4 multiplayer is sweet. It's really good. It's really nice. Especially Regicide. I loved Regicide. They took that away, though. Pisses me off. Yeah, I hope Infinite is not a flop, but as long as, I don't think it'll be a flop. I don't think it will be, right? As long as they make sure to bring back that meme guy, that brute, right? As long as they keep him in the game, he's going to be like the mascot, right? Everybody loves that guy. Drakey Poo, love Show Off Saturdays. Well, Drakey Poo, there will be many more Saturdays. Many more random things to record on my Motorola. That's a play on many more Mondays on Mike and James Mondays, and that's a lie. There will be no more Mondays. P. Ferreria. All I will say about this is proper. To be proper, gaming historian doesn't just cover one system or one company. Norman wouldn't come across as a Nintendo biased if he covered games from other consoles more. Would it kill the guy to maybe do something on the Neo Geo? Or just anything else other than something about the fucking NES lock? I mean, again, how deep in the bag of Nintendo is he grabbing his hand to pull things out if he's talking about a NES lock? Alright, the Game Boy sonar? Okay, interesting, because it's a sonar thing, but you gonna make a video about a fucking lock? Right? Like there's nothing else, Norm? What a jackass. Rewind video. I'm wondering your thoughts on the YouTubers The Game Chasers or their episode of them knocking on people's doors asking if they have games they want to sell. Well, The Game Chasers, I haven't been to their channel in a while. Unless it's for a reason, you know, I don't visit their channel. Unless they had like some stuff on Dodongo. Dodongo was kind of interesting. Let's see here. I didn't see that. Alright, are you pulling my leg here? Are they actually going to people's house, knocking on their door, asking you if they want to sell games? I would be freaked out if, you know, people that look like that, grown-ass men, were looking for video games. Like, what the fuck? Are you guys for real? Are you guys for real? Like, you know, how would that go down? How did it go down? Explain the video to me. You're like, hey, there's some people at the door. Ah, shit, just give them some video games, let them until they go away. I don't know. Like, that's so weird. Like, are they running out of ideas? Like, they can't go to flea markets, so they're actually just going to go to people's house to get the games to game chase? So odd. The Winged Avenger. I have a Rick and Morty video game on my NES Classic Mini. It's a hack of the NES game Alien Syndrome, reskinned to have Rick and Morty as the main characters. It's an awesome two-player game, and the characters really look like Rick and Morty. It's always cool when they take a game and they turn it into something different, you know? I see that they're actually turning... I think somebody turned Mario 64 into a first-person shooter. But that really wasn't a reskinning, but like a reimagining. It's just really awesome. Like, what I would like is if people can go back and actually fix some games or like make them a little better. You know, I mean, just like the possibilities are limitless, right? So I will try to check that out, and maybe I'll get some gameplay and be playing that in the future, possibly. I don't know. Hank R. Hill. You know, we had a name for people like Dreamcast Guy and the Circus. We referred to them as clowns, I tell you what. I could probably do that better. It's not that bad. It's not like my Rusty Shackelford. See? You know? Hank R. Hill. I sell propane and propane accessories. Damn it, Bobby. You know, if it's things like you hear, that's the thing about impressions. You know, if you have a weak impersonation, then you have to say things they normally would say to kind of like make it a little better. Matt Dragon. By the way, I still think Mike and Ryan don't get along very well. Just watch some old rental reviews videos on Cinemassacre. Have a great day. Don't have the time. I don't, you know, as James would say, I just don't have the time. Like, if there's a specific video you want me to watch, maybe. I don't know if it's that they don't get along. I think it's that maybe they are into different things. And they just don't really, like, they don't sync up. We've all had issues to where, like, you know, years go by and then we just kind of grow apart from somebody. And it could be something as simple as that. Or maybe, you know, sometimes you don't like the new friends your friend is hanging around. And they're a bad influence. And you're like, you know what? Fuck those friends of yours, you know, just hang out with me separately. Maybe it's something like that, I'm not sure. Zack Attack 84. So what's going to happen 20, 30 years from now? Talking about Mike Matei live streaming. He's going to be in his 60s streaming old NES games for 13 hours straight. How do these people think they're going to sustain this for the rest of their lives? Yeah, it's what we want. You know, 60s and 70s Mike Matei. You know, he's going to be so angry at those games. You know, when he falls off the side of a cliff as Mega Man, he's going to do that patented and slam his wrist down and like, oh, I snapped my wrist in half. Call 911. Like, that's not going to work. I hope motherfucker Mike has a job or something other than that. The Saunders child. Why did he and guys like Artificial Entertainment talking about Alpha Mega Sin retire anyway? Their old Resident Evil rants were pretty epic. It's kind of sad to see once decent YouTubers not even stating why they abandoned their content and followers. Yeah, just in the case of Alpha, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Because you have like a big channel. You clearly have people that want to hear you rant about things. But he just went away. He would go away for several months at a time. Then he would come back. And then he had that big return. You know, got all of his fans, you know, underwear moist with his 2 videos. And then he goes away. You know, if there's ever a story of a guy that just did not truly give a single fuck about their audience, it would be Alpha Mega Sin. Because, you know, people try to defend this guy up and down, but no, this guy left his audience, came back, left again, then came back just to live stream for donations, left again, came back, left again. He kept going and coming and going and coming like he just didn't, like he just wanted to keep the channel barely active. Like, what happened is, like why? That's the question people have, and the guy just needs to give a decent answer at some point and be honest. You know, just tell people, Alpha, you don't give a fuck about your YouTube audience, and you were just there to get a big following, and ultimately you didn't give a fuck. You know, that's, if you want the answer, that's what it is. Everyone has this answer. Hey, Rick, why do you think Alpha left? Because he didn't give a fuck about any of them. Ultimately. Right? Oh, maybe he was burned out. Oh, burned out from ranting about things? Every couple weeks? You know? Dude, Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9? Dead bullshit. Like, you can't come back and, you know, do a retrospective. Like, hey, I'm going to do a re-up of my video from years ago. Like, he can do anything. His audience, you know, they're not that picky. They just want to see Alpha. And I don't know. Energy Turtle. I was just playing Chrono Trigger not long ago on Steam. Still such a great game. I've been playing it, and I'm surprised I never got around to playing this one. This is a classic. This is a beautiful game. Just, it's beautiful, and I like it because I'm into Dragon Ball, and it's got the art style. There's so many things I like about this. I'm like, it's so, like, and I think to myself, 2 years after this was Final Fantasy VII. Leave it in the comment section down below. I'm curious how many people would actually rate Chrono Trigger above Final Fantasy VII? You know? I think the graphics hold up a lot better in Chrono Trigger, I'll tell you that much. Anthony Wessels. I love how honest you are and don't cherry top anything. No BS. Keep it up. Me and my wife love your channel. Strong arm emoji and thumbs up emoji. Well, to new people on the channel, welcome. And thank you for your kind words there, Anthony. Hope you and your wife are doing well. To new people on the channel, I just kind of want to get one thing across more than anything else. I don't cherry top anything. I don't BS. You know, I just give my thoughts on several things, and I communicate with my audience, and then my audience comes here, and it's like an open discussion type channel, right? I don't have any fake characters that I play on YouTube. Like I'm not fake. I'm a real person, right? So I'm just real. And I think we need more types like me on this platform, right? You don't have to play a zany, kooky type character. You don't have to play those kooky characters. You know, just respect your audience and they will respect you. Okay.